what's going on, everybody? You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. We got a mailbag coming up on today's show where we react to your questions. We went live earlier in the week. If you weren't there, what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button and turn those notifications on, as we're going to go live at least one time per week until the regular season starts. My guy AP51 coming in with a question. Appreciate you, bro. Says, hey, Marsh, what do you think about Romeo Doubs for a receiver in free agency? And it's a good point. Eli Manning thinks the New York Giants should go out and get a wide receiver 2. He even said a wide receiver 1B for Malik Neighbors. And Romeo Doubs is going to be one of the headliners of the 2026 NFL free agency class. We've actually just got a report coming in from Matt Schneidman, who covers the Green Bay Packers for The Athletic, and he says Romeo Doubs is set to hit free agency, and he is as good as gone. So there's a world where he is not going back to the Packers, and he can leave. I like Doubs as a player. I think he's someone that would complement Malik Neighbors a lot. This past year, 55 grabs, 724 yards. Last year, 46 grabs for 600 yards. He's got 10 touchdowns in the last 2 years. In 2023, he had 8 touchdowns for 674 yards. Physical receiver at 6'2", 205 pounds. He's someone that could make contested catches as well. There was that thing like 2 years ago where he didn't show up to practice and then they had to suspend him for something. So I'd like to get some more background information on that. But without a doubt, the New York Giants have to address the wide receiver position. What are they going to do with Wan'Dale Robinson? Will he be back? And I'm sorry, just bringing back Wan'Dale Robinson is not enough addressing. You need to, if you're going to bring him back, you need to then, again, either go get another receiver or someone at a premium pick in the NFL draft. But yeah, if Romeo Doubs wants to be a Giant and they can get the contract done, he is someone that is high on my list of wide receiver targets in free agency. When it comes to, can we get a good wide receiver 2 in the NFL draft? I don't think Lemon is going to fall to pick number 37, but Concepcion at Texas A&M, he could be there. If you feel as if you can get a game changer at number 37 at the receiver spot, do it. You need more dogs at that position. Michael, what up, my man? Any interest in Mike Evans? Yeah, I do have a little bit of interest in Mike Evans. It's being reported that he is going to come back and play this year. He's going to be a free agent, and he's going to listen to all options out there in free agency. Mike Evans, I know he's a little bit longer in the tooth, and he is older, but, man, he is still a productive receiver. And I really would like the idea of him being kind of that big brother mentor to Malik Neighbors in the wide receiver room. Eli Manning talked about it. Neighbors could use someone that he could look up to and learn from. And what better guy than Mike Evans, who's going to be a Hall of Famer? What did he have, 9 straight years, 10 straight years of 1,000 yards? He could be a red zone target for you. We've seen Jaxson Dart kind of just throw up some 50-50 balls. Mike Evans as good as anybody in this league to go and get those out of the air. I know it's on a long-term fix there, and I do like to prioritize long-term fixes. But, man, Mike Evans for a year, and then you're right back at it the next year trying to figure out that spot. I don't think that that's the worst idea in the world. If the money's right, yeah, Mike Evans is someone that I am interested in. We'll get to more questions about free agency and the NFL draft coming up in a second, but I want to hear from you because I was asked this question recently. Oh, it was a really good one. So I'm going to ask you, what would be a successful season for the Giants this year? If the Giants do blank, you'll consider it a successful year. Sound off in the comments for me. Is it X amount of wins? Is it the division? What is it? What would be a successful year for you for the Giants? Sound off for me. My guy, let's go Giants. What up, my man? You think we could afford to trade back into the first round for like Mansour Delane, the corner out of LSU, for like Tibbs in a second round pick for pick 25? We always do this. This guy won't be available there. There's no way this guy is available there. I do have a hard time seeing Delane be available at pick 25. But if there's a player that the New York Giants are in love with that's on the board, pick 23, 24, 25, 26, yeah, they should go up and try to trade for him. Like if you have a first-round grade on a guy and you see him slipping, but you're not so sure he's going to slip to 37, yeah, you could go up and try to move up and get him. And I think using Kayvon Thibodeau as a trade piece in that type of situation is a good idea. Is Kayvon Thibodeau going to be on the Giants this time next year? Are they going to pay him money to be the third edge rusher behind Abdul Carter and Brian Burns? I'm sure the Giants are going to add another edge rusher in free agency or the draft this year as well. Just hasn't been a home run with Kayvon Thibodeau. He's not a bust, but for the 5th overall pick, they haven't got the return on investment that they would like. And you have to ask the question, does John Harbaugh look at Kayvon Thibodeau and say, that's my type of football player? I don't know. There's been some chatter the Giants could trade him. We know the Giants were listening to calls at the trade deadline. We know for a fact they were listening to calls and making calls at the draft last year for Thibodeau. If you can use him as a piece to move up in the draft to secure someone that you're in love with, yeah, I absolutely would do that. We'll answer more questions coming up in a second. First, though, I got to give a huge shout out to today's sponsor, Chubbies. It's their 15th year anniversary, and they've got an awesome deal for the real ones. When you go to chubbyshorts.com/chatsports, use that promo code chatsports, you get 20% off your purchase. I got to be real with you guys. The first time I put on a pair of Chubby shorts, my life was changed. They're the most comfortable shorts I've ever put on. They've also got extremely comfortable swimsuits and swim trunks. And with summer and spring right around the corner, the time to get your swim trunks are now. And Chubbies, they have the best in the game. I've been living in my Chubby shorts ever since I put them on that first day. And they make every single day feel like Friday at 5 p.m. Supportive, zero chafe, dry in minutes, so you're cannonball to cold beer ready. The 4-way stretch is ridiculous. So, for a limited time, Giants Now listeners get 20% off with code CHATSPORTS at chubbyshorts.com. That's 20% off with code CHATSPORTS at chubbyshorts.com. They also have an official collab with the NFL, so they've got Giants-themed swim shorts. They've got Giants polos, Giants button-downs. Go check them out. Shout out to Chubbies. Go give your thighs the VIP treatment they deserve. And tell Chubbies Chat Sports sent you. Papa Swanky, what up, my man? Shout out to you. $5 super chat. Thought on Peter Woods, Clemson defensive tackle, could make it easier moving on from Dexter Lawrence if he has another down year. I don't want to move on from Dexter Lawrence. I know we've talked about if you get the same trade package the Jets got for Quinnen Williams, it'd be hard to turn down, and no doubt about it. It will be hard to turn that down. But can we just get Dexter Lawrence to be an All-Pro again? Can he get back to the player he was last year when he was talked about as a top 20 player in the NFL? How much of a boost to the defense would it be if Dexter Lawrence, who's motivated, hopefully with the new coaching staff, led by John Harbaugh, with an identity of winning, Dex has been part of a lot of losing here. Maybe his focus and his sights and his motivation has changed now with John Harbaugh in the room. I'm looking for all the glass half full type of things, hoping that he could bounce back. When it comes to Peter Woods, this is a guy that was ranked as a top 5 player in the summer. And it was top 10 player midway through the year. Now it's is he a top 15 guy? I would love for there to be a defensive tackle at pick number 5 the Giants could select. Right now, though, that's not available. Peter Woods, his tape this year wasn't nearly good enough for that. Carl Knight, what up, my man? Is there a free agent that you like that the Giants realistically can get that no one is talking about? Man, that no one is talking about. Well, I would love to get Tyler Linderbaum, and I think everyone's talking about him, so that does not count. We talked about Romeo Doubs. I haven't seen too many Giants people go out and talk about Doubs. What about a corner in Nashawn Wright? Nashawn Wright last year played for the Chicago Bears. I think he made the Pro Bowl for whatever that is worth anymore. But he was a good corner for them. And maybe you get him on a cheap 2-year deal and he can be a spot starter for you. Any other guys? Man, that's tough that no one is talking about. I don't think anyone's talking about Nashawn Wright. So we can go with that one. I'm blanking on his name. First round pick, linebacker, Packers. Quay Walker is a free agent, super athlete, was really good his first couple of years in the NFL. some injuries and maybe some other things haven't happened, but you want to talk about an athlete. You want to talk about like someone that can make a difference, sideline to sideline speed, and if you can get his head back in it, Quay Walker would be potentially a cheap 1-year deal that you could target, cheap 2-year deal. Quay Walker and Deshaun Wright, 2 guys at positions of need that I think could make some sense. Tav Logs, what up, my man? Can y'all break down the difference between Caleb Downs and Isaiah Simmons? I've seen him as a player comp since they played similar roles in college. Good question. I'll say it like this. Isaiah Simmons was looked at as a generational player because he was the best player in college football. And the reason he was the best player in college football is because he was bigger, stronger, and faster than everybody else. He was elite because he was the best athlete on the field at all times. The reason that Caleb Downs is looked at as the best player in this class is because of his football IQ. Everything that goes on between his ears is why he's looked at as the best. The Clemson Tigers lined up Isaiah Simmons all over the field because he wasn't necessarily an A-plus player at any one spot. The reason that Matt Patricia in Ohio State lined up Caleb Downs in the box, in the slot, single high, split field high, on the edge is because he was an A-plus at every single place. So Isaiah Simmons was great because of his athleticism. Caleb Downs is great because he's a great football player. He has a great football IQ. His mind makes him great. So I hope that kind of explains that. Seth Gross, what up, my man? How can free agency change how we view our draft teams? Do we draft for need or best available? So I'll answer this in a 2-parter. How could free agency change? Giants go out and they sign Alec Pierce to a 3-year, $60 million deal. I don't think they're going to draft a wide receiver, number 5 overall. The Giants go out and sign Jermaine Illuminor to a big bag or any right tackle to a big bag. You're not going to draft a right tackle at number 5 overall. So I do think there's going to be a direct correlation between what the Giants do in free agency and what they do in the NFL draft. But I think that this team should continue to just draft the best football player that is available. Obviously, don't need a quarterback. Don't need a running back either. But, man, if quarterback, running back, left tackle, any other player that's the best player on the board, take him. Like, if there's another great edge rusher, maybe you don't want to do that, but, like, I don't mind doing that. The only positions I wouldn't do it is quarterback, left tackle, and running back. But every time the Giants go to the podium, I want them selecting the player that they think, of all the players that are left on the board, have the best chance to be a Hall of Famer. You do that, you're going to build a good football team. Make sure you are following me on social media. If I missed your question today, tweet at me on Twitter @MarshallGreen_ or send me a DM on IG @MarshallGreen_.